Hello, everyone. Welcome to Merely Surviving to Successful Thriving. This is Diane and Jen, and we're here to talk about our topic for today, for this week, and it's about anger. We could talk for hours and hours about anger. I also wanted to let you know as well that wherever you listen to your podcasts, you will find us on there as well. So we're Apple Podcasts, iHeart Music Radio, or Spotify. And today's topic about anger is going to be a deep one. We wanted to share with you how we deal with it or haven't dealt with it. And I'm just going to pass you over to Jen so she could start us off today.
Hello, anger. That's a good one. As a matter of fact, before we started doing this podcast today, I was just telling Diane something that happened to me. Trying to get a check cashed at the bank. My checks are coming for my child support and alimony in my maiden name, so it doesn't match the names on my account. I end up having to go to three banks. And I'm getting annoyed. I'm not going to lie. I just had my knee surgery. It was still raining this morning. I said, nothing is ever simple. But, finally at the third bank, I was able to do it. And, I have to take a look at how I react to bad situations and getting myself upset about something. And I said, you know what? I'm lucky that this got garnished and that I have this money coming to me and that I was able to cash it. So it's just another thing that I have to straighten out, but I'll be able to do it. I went through a lot of other things recently that caused me a lot of anger. And some of it, I have to write things down, what's going on in my life. I put it to the paper because I noticed for myself, even the little things. Um, I, I'm just thinking about like how many pads I've actually gone through because my anger prevents me from living the life that I'm living today, and I also put things into perspective, like what's making me angry, what's the cause of it, what I can do to change it, and I have to think about the way that I'm going to react to it because I have to realize that everybody around me, I'm never going to change them. I used to think if just everybody around me would change, everything else would be better. So it wasn't until I did the work to change myself and the way I react to people, that's when I got better results. It also allowed me to set up boundaries with people, which is also very important because when you set up boundaries, you're less likely to get angry at people because you just don't put up with certain things anymore. And that was hard for me for a long time as well. I just know today that I feel blessed for everything that I have. I try to focus on the positive too in my life. Even getting in the car sometimes, being in traffic, getting cut off by people, that used to aggravate me. Or coming up to a toll and the line is long because I said, what if people don't know we were coming to a toll and they're rummaging through their pocketbooks when they finally get up there, holding up the line? Like those little things. But then, you know what? I try to put it in perspective to what it's going to take an extra second, 2 seconds. What is getting angry about certain things really going to do for me? Does nothing for me but make me miserable. And today I choose to be happy, like no matter what. And I know, like, if I'm starting out that way, I always can reset my day, take a step back, think about what's going on, put it into perspective. Sometimes I have to get on the phone and call somebody and talk me through it, but it works. And I really I've had a good time letting a lot of things that were causing me anger to let them go. I also, well, now I can't do it right now, but I go to the beach a lot. I like to go to the beach. It's a place where I can reflect. and I'll let some of the bad things just fly out in the ocean, and I release it there, because there's so many things that are just not in my control. And I choose to not let anger hold me down or make me ruin the good days that I have ahead of me. Who wants to just sit being angry? It takes so much more energy, too, I feel like, to be angry than to be happy. And I just feel like people, when you're just an angry person all the time, people will treat you that way. You get kind of what you put out there, is what I'm trying to say. And since I've been on this path and I've been changing the way that I am with people, the way I react to people, living a good life today, things good have been happening for me, and I'm happy, and I'm able to spread that joy with other people. So I guess I want to hear what you have to say about this.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us because I feel it's kind of ditto, ditto, ditto. I feel the same way. But I also have, wow, anger is not like I'm learning that anger is not good or bad. It's actually something that I'm realizing it's like a marker point. It's like a a directional, instructional um, way to show me what I have to do next. And it's all about how I respond. If I respond with um, you know kindness and dignity and grace, that's what I'm shooting for today. But I noticed in my life that I really was literally telling everybody that I knew 20 something years ago that I didn't have an angry bone in my body. I literally was telling everybody that. And that is so not true for anyone on the planet. I don't care who you are. Things piss you off. And I didn't know that I was so angry at so many things in so many ways that I just turned it against myself. So, literally, like anger turned inward is still anger. It doesn't matter, like I may not be angry at you or at somebody else, or I may not think I am, and I just turned it against myself. So, whether you're angry with yourself and it turns into depression and mental illness and all that other garbage that comes along with it, or you're angry with somebody else, it's still anger. So, it took a lot of years to dive through all that and pick it apart and process it and realize what it was. And then you and I have a mutual friend that helped me so much through that. Start kicking things that you're not going to break, of course, and don't kick anything too hard because you might break your toes. But start taking things a pillow to some things and punching pillows and getting in the car and driving down the parkway and closing the windows and screaming your fucking head off. Like that type of stuff that I did that I was told to do because it releases all of the angst and the anger that I had inside of me. And but I had to acknowledge it. I had to know that it was there, and I had to get with that it needed to be experienced and expressed. Because there's nothing worse than living here with unexpressed anger or grief. So we know that as women, you know what I mean? We know that like we have to experience it. You got to express it in healthy ways, and you got to get to the other side so that we could be where we're shooting to be to be today. I have a long way to go. Like, there's days where I'm just kind of in it. I'm just angry for no reason and I don't even know why. Like I'll start my day off with my practices that I have. I have, centering practices, literature that I read. I absolutely love that time of day for me. I'm alone, there's no one in the house. And it's really, really, really quiet, and I can hear. Like that's what they say, that phrase, hear yourself think, like to hear something come through that wouldn't have normally come through if I just ran into my day with nothing. And one day I ran into my day with nothing because I had a lot to do and I had an early class that I had to attend and I had to do some things and pick up some things, and I in the afternoon I was coming home, and I look in the refrigerator, and this is just something that I just share because it's hysterical. I look in the refrigerator, and my husband's home, and he takes it out, and it's this new little thing that he went to the store because myself and my family, we're a blended family. Myself and my daughters, we don't eat seafood. We don't eat any kind of seafood or anything. And he pulls this big fat thing of fresh shrimp out of the refrigerator, and I was like, "What a fucking asshole! You like shrimp?" I literally felt that from the inside. I was like, what the hell? And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, why would I hate somebody for liking shrimp? I mean, what is really wrong here? And then I come to find out the reason why that happened was because I was exhausted from the day. I didn't get enough sleep. I didn't make it to the things that I was eventually looking to make it to. It was a lot of things on my to-do list that I didn't get done. I was beating myself up for it. And I'm mad at him for liking shrimp. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I just went and started, like you said, started my whole day over, went back into that quiet place. And I just did it. And I love it. I just have to say something too is in the book Untamed that Glennon Doyle wrote, she writes about something called sinking. I'm going to go in and sink. And that's what she said. I'm going to go and sink. And she talks about sinking within yourself and finding the strength that you have in there. And I was like, whoa, sinking. That's weird. Like, I've never heard it expressed like that. And that's pretty much what it is. I just kind of go in and get out, like just go to that quiet, peaceful place within me, which, by the way, I never thought I had. I didn't know I had that until I'd say about 5 or 6 years ago. And it's within. And it says it in everything that I read too. Go within, go to the place within you that is this, or that is, peaceful, that is safe, that is loving, that is kind, that is patient, and that, is determined also, will do anything to go to any lengths to be okay. So that's what I wanted to share about that so far. I mean, anger for me is like, it's something that I know that I have to express in order to get to the other side of it. But to express it in healthy ways, not lashing out like I did, which I didn't. It was within me. I didn't say it out loud, but I was like laughing. It's so good to be able to laugh at yourself, like, whoa, where did that come from? Whoa, what did I do today? What was my schedule? Oh, I had this. And I packed everything into such a tight schedule, into such a tight time frame and time slots that I had no time to take care of me. And, that is just precious in and of itself. So I'm going to turn it over to you to see what you have to say about that.
Oh, yeah. As you were talking about that, it just really made me think more about my life. And, I was miserable for a lot of years, and I just didn't really acknowledge it. I was angry about a lot of things, a lot of bad things that had happened. And I was on this roller coaster for so many years. I ended up, I would set up goals for myself, like unobtainable goals that I would fail at every one of them. Then it would make me depressed. I started gaining weight. I gained a lot of weight. And then that even made me feel worse. I had zero self esteem. So each one of these things just kept making everything worse and worse and worse. I didn't work for a long time. I didn't even really want to come out that much anymore. And I don't know what it was. I really started praying a lot. And I do have some good people in my life. And then I finally got the courage up to do some of the things that I talked about last week. I'm getting divorced. It's a blessing. But that really was the breaking point. Like, I finally had enough of so many different things. It wasn't even just him. And, I never took care of myself either. I was doing so many things, and I end up resenting just about every single person in my life. my kids included sometimes, because I would just do this, do that. I would be running around like a chicken without a head, hardly getting a thank you. Pick this one up, take this one here, do this, sew somebody's button on, take this one to school, like all and stupid things. But it was just nonstop every day and for years and years and years. And I just kept pushing it down, eating. I used to drink like all bad, negative things for myself just to get through the day. And that is absolutely no way to live. And I feel like, self care is so important for me today because that's what helps me to put my anger into perspective. Even though I still get, of course, angry every day, I have things that aggravate me, but I know what to do with it now and I pay attention to it. And then by the end of the day, I reflect on what my day was, what I could have done better. Say maybe I reacted the wrong way. If I need to make an amends to somebody, I'll take care of that. Because all these little things for me build up until I'm finally ready to explode. And I just kept so much in for so many years. So when I did start this path and then finally started getting some of this stuff out, some people in my family were like having a hard time accepting it. I know my mom even said, "Are you taking medication or something? We're not used to you expressing yourself this boldly and speaking up for yourself." And I said, this was a beautiful thing for me to be able to speak up for myself, to have some self worth, to express when I'm not happy, to let other people know. Because, as far as I know, for all that time, my kids didn't know I was miserable. My ex didn't know I was miserable. I'm sure they kind of had an idea, but nobody knew exactly how angry and miserable I was except for myself. So today I try to get out even the littlest things because all those little things, if you don't recognize it and take care of it, it builds up, and it turns into a big problem. So I really try to go to bed at night with all my resentments handled, all my anger out there, so that I could wake up and get some new ones in the morning. But and it usually always happens. It could even be simple things like it was gloomy and raining today, and I absolutely hate that. And I just came back from Florida, and then, of course, I checked the weather there, and it says it's going to be 80 degrees and full sun there today. And I'm like, this sucks. This absolutely sucks. And now I have to go out, and I had to go food shopping, which is another thing that I don't enjoy doing. But you know what? I try to think about it. I'm like, eventually I'm going to be in Florida forever. The grocery store, I'm blessed. Thank God I have money to go grocery shopping and a refrigerator to come home and put it in. When I think about the blessings and how much better my life is today, it helps to put some of my anger into perspective too. And then I also feel like if I am getting too angry all in one day, I have to start thinking about myself, like what's going on here? Like, why are these things bothering me? Because it's usually something within. And that's always something that I need to recognize. And sometimes I need help doing that still. But I have good people in my life today that, you know, give me their opinion and tell me what they're thinking. Because sometimes when you're in your head like that, it's hard to even figure it out. So that's why, like, people like us, we're here to help. Together we could all get through this stronger and better as women. And, the better I get, I feel like I'm better. I'm a better mother today. I'm a better friend. I'm a better daughter. My mom's proud of me today. I do a lot of good things in my life today, and it really makes me happy. And I want to hear what you think about this.
Thank you very much. What you were saying about, like waking up, like, like I know that like we have something for the past bunch of years that we're so blessed to have, and that's like each other. Like there's people in the network of women and people in our lives that we could talk to about our anger. Like if you're angry about something I love, like so Jen, she'll send me a text and say, I'm so pissed about this. You know what I mean? And then I'll send her, I'm like, I'm really a bit mad about this. And then, little words go back and forth and this and that. And you sent me one like yesterday, and I just got back to it this morning. But I was just like, boy, but I'm sure there were other people that you talked to about that. So that's the thing, is like, surround yourself with people who will support you and lift you up. That is the most crucial thing, because without support and the energy and love of others, we're just rolling around going around that hamster cake, that hamster wheel. I start here and I wind up right back there. Like, still pissed at the thing that I started out with, unless I'm like putting it out there into the universe, and the people that I know that are, it stops, it takes the sting out, because I do as well. I will wake up with a fresh load of garbage. I wake up with a fresh load of garbage every morning, and I have to like start picking it out, taking all the stuff out of it and get underneath it. And that's what is beautiful about this. And I there's sometimes, and there's this thing called justifiable anger. Come on, let's talk about justifiable anger. That gives us the right to be pissed, right? Oh, especially if it has no fault. There's no fault of our own in it. Oh yeah, I like laying in that blanket. They say sitting in shit is warm and comfortable, but it stinks. But that's the truth. Is like, if it's justifiable, it's like I'll hold on to it and go, it's you and it's not me. And that's no good either. And luckily, like I said, with the help of the people and the network that I have, and sending a text out, I know that if I send you a text, I'm going to hear back from you. If I call you, you're going to answer. You know what I mean? If I call this one or even send a text, I don't care if I don't hear back for the whole day, but I know I'll get something back that makes me feel a whole lot better. Sometimes it's just a song on the radio, or something that I listen to, or somebody that I talk to, or something that I see, or some job situation. Like I'm in a situation with a job, like I have no control of the actions and feelings of others. I only have control over myself. And it's like, I feel like that God is just, showing me what to do, or, giving me little signs of where to go. Even though I may not know that yet, he always directs us in the place and in the way that we should go. Holds us by our right hand, you know what I mean? And I'm a lefty, so I could get really pissed about that too, but I won't, because it's okay. It always says right hand. He holds us by our right hand. And so I don't know. So I just wanted to end my segment by saying that anger is definitely not good or bad, but it's like a marker to show you where you should go. And unexpressed anger or unexpressed grief is really not good for anyone's health, because I don't know, like when I was young, I would just take everything that I got angry about. First of all, I didn't even know I was angry, and I would just take it and put it somewhere within my body. And I grew up with colon problems, stomach problems, digestive problems. Gut health was like horrible and horrendous, through the roof. Doctor after doctor trying to figure out if there was anything. And it was just stress. I was so full of grief and anger and angst and anxiety and depression and stress, because I didn't believe for 1 minute that I could express this stuff that I had inside of me and I would be safe. It was a question of safety. I stored it everywhere within me, and that is no good for anybody. So anger is not good or bad, but it's something that has to be expressed so that you can come out on the other side and live free. Like, I want to be free. I want freedom. I don't want crap holding me back to being the potential that I can be. I want to live to my fullest potential in this life. We don't have forever. So, Like this earth that we're on is just temporary. Everything's temporary. So I want to enjoy every minute. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Jen, if you want to close us out. And just keep listening to us. We love you. We want to help. We want you to flower and grow and bloom just like we're starting to. Thank you.
Very well said. Yeah, I can't stress enough about getting the anger out because I know how damaging it is to keep it all in. And it just affected every one of the relationships that I have in my life today, and this path that I'm on. I'm so blessed. But I know, like, when I'm laying in my bed at night and I do go through all the things of the day, and there's a couple things that I still like hold some anger. And I laugh because I'm sitting in bed talking to God because I say, you're already going to know what I'm going to say because you know what I'm thinking. So I might as well just put it out there. But I just, I pray for him to take certain things away from me, like to help me get through it because I already did work and I get it and I understand. But there's still a couple things that are under my skin at the moment. But I'm working through it. But I'm not going to allow it to ruin my days and to be stuck in self-pity and misery and bad behaviors. And I find like the more positive things that I do for myself, like I try to eat healthy, I go to the gym, all these things that I do for my self-care really help put me in the right direction and help me so much in dealing with everything and getting things out correctly and even being able to take a step back before I answer somebody back. I used to be one to just let it rip. Like as soon as I get annoyed and react right away. I'm trying not to do that anymore because I see that, you can't take those words back and words can hurt. So I really try and step back before I even, deal with other people when I'm angry. And so far, it's been working for me. And I'm glad that we got the opportunity to talk about this today. And I'm so glad that you all joined us. And I hope we can help you. And that's about all I have for today.